Welcome to your personalized deep dive. Today we're stepping into the shoes of a digital forensics expert, prepping you to totally own that interview.
Oh, it's a field that's just exploding right now.
It really is.
We're talking about really diving deep into compromised systems, like piecing together those digital puzzles and making sure those pieces can stand up in court.
High stakes.
High stakes, fascinating, and it demands like a very specific skill set.
Absolutely, and that's where RoleCatcher's career and interview guides come in.
Mm-hmm.
They have really given us the inside scoop, not just on what this job is all about, but how to show off what you know to those potential employers.
Yeah.
So basically, think of this deep dive as your interview boot camp, and it's all fueled by RoleCatcher's awesome insights.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ready to wow those recruiters.
Let's do it. To start, let's get a clear picture of what a digital forensics expert actually does. We're not just talking about, recovering deleted files.
Right.
Though that is part of it.
It's way more than that.
It is.
It's more like being like a digital Sherlock Holmes.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
You're going through data from like computers, phones, even gaming consoles. Like you're looking for the truth.
Exactly. And the stakes are high. What you uncover could be used in court, so you have to maintain that integrity of the evidence, document every step. That's critical. Interviewers want to know you understand that.
Okay, so let's dive into some real interview questions, shall we? These are straight from RoleCatcher's guide. So first up, what inspired you to pursue a career in digital forensics? I mean, seems pretty straightforward.
It does, yeah.
But RoleCatcher has this insight, right, where they say the interviewer is really trying to get to your why. Like, what's that spark that got you passionate about this whole field?
It really is. It's your chance to tell your story. But make it personal. Make it memorable. Don't just say, oh, I love computers. Talk about like the time you built your first computer or that aha moment when you first really got the power of code. Maybe there was a specific case, a book, a movie, maybe even a fictional character like Lisbeth Salander.
Oh, good one.
Something that really sparked your interest.
And be ready for those follow-up questions.
Oh, yeah.
They might ask, what was the most challenging technical problem you've solved? Like something that really solidified your passion. So think about it.
Yeah.
They want to see how you solve problems, that resilience, turning challenges into learning moments.
Absolutely. And that ties into the next question, too, because they're going to want to know, how do you stay updated on the latest, trends and tech in digital forensics? Because this field moves so fast.
Oh, tell me about it. It's like a digital arms race.
It really is. Every day there are new tools, new techniques.
And new ways that criminals are covering their tracks.
Exactly.
And speaking of which, RoleCatcher's career guide, it actually specifically mentions AI and machine learning. And this isn't sci-fi anymore. Like it's changing how we're looking at malware, how we identify patterns in data, even detecting things like child exploitation. That's a heavy one.
It is, and it's crucial.
Sure.
So when you're answering this question about staying updated, mention specific publications you follow. Maybe it's digital investigation, webinars you've attended, online communities, that kind of thing. Don't forget certifications, too.
Oh, right.
Those are fantastic to show that you're committed to staying ahead of the curve.
Yeah, RoleCatcher's guide lists a bunch like the Certified Digital Forensics Examiner, the GISE Certified Forensic Analyst, things like that. I mean, those really show not only what you know, but that you're serious about growing in this field, always learning. And, before we move on to the next interview question, I wanted to touch on something RoleCatcher really emphasizes in their career guide. It's hands-on experience. Because it's one thing to ace the interview, but actually having some practical experience under your belt, that can really make you stand out from the crowd.
Oh, for sure. Even if you're still in school, look for internships, Maybe volunteer somewhere, like at a nonprofit that needs help with data recovery. Anything to get that real-world exposure.
It's all about the stories you can tell in the interview.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not just checking a box. It's showing you can learn and adapt in real-life situations. Okay, back to those interview questions. Question 3 throws a bit of a curveball. How would you handle being called in to investigate a client's compromised data? So this isn't just about knowing your tech stuff. It's about professionalism and how you handle the client.
Exactly. And remember, you're dealing with people who are probably stressed out, maybe even a little scared about what's been compromised. RoleCatcher emphasizes empathy here. You're not just a tech person, you're a problem solver and a really good communicator.
So walk the interviewer through your process. Like start by securing what data's left, making sure there's no more damage, explain your steps clearly, but in a way they'll get
Maybe compare log files to like a computer's diary.
And don't forget about communication. How would you keep the client in the loop without, like, overwhelming them with jargon?
The great follow-up question they might ask is, have you ever had to deliver bad news? Like telling a client you couldn't recover all their data. It shows you can handle tough conversations, be honest, and manage expectations. Okay, let's move on to question 4, which is all about your technical expertise. Can you walk us through your process for analyzing digital evidence? This is where you get to really shine. Show them you don't just know what to do, but how to do it.
It's showtime.
Yeah.
And RoleCatcher's Career Guide actually breaks down the key functions of a digital forensics expert, which is super helpful for structuring your answer.
Exactly. Start with how you get that data, emphasizing that you're preserving its integrity.
Like bagging and tagging evidence at a crime scene.
Exactly. Then talk about your examination techniques. This could be keyword searching, file carving, which is like piecing together those deleted files.
Like a digital jigsaw puzzle?
Exactly. Or using special forensic software like Encase or FTK.
Right. Those are important, but don't just drop the names,
Right.
Explain how you've actually used them.
Exactly.
Give an example.
Yes, give a specific example. Like, in this ransomware case, I used Encase to create this forensic image of the hard drive. So, I didn't mess with any potential evidence.
Yeah, show them you can walk the walk. You're not all talk.
Exactly. And when you're talking about these techniques, like, highlight that documentation, right? It's got to be clear, concise. Because those findings, they might end up in court. So a judge, a jury, they need to understand it. And, that actually leads perfectly into question 5, which is all about those unexpected findings. How do you handle a situation where you find evidence that, like, totally contradicts what you thought at the beginning?
Oh, man. Everyone loves a good plot twist.
Yeah.
But this isn't about entertainment, right? It's about being honest, intellectually honest, and being able to adapt. RoleCatcher's saying here, they're looking for someone who can, like, adjust when the evidence changes.
Exactly. Like a strong answer to that kind of question might be, so in this one investigation, I thought it was an external phishing attack based on the network logs. But when I dug deeper into employee logins, file access, it pointed to something internal. So I had to shift gears, focus on who that employee was, what their motive was.
Right, which shows not just that you can adapt, but that you're willing to, like, challenge your own assumptions.
Yeah.
Which is huge in this field. Okay, you ready for question 6? This one's a classic. Can you describe a complex case you worked on and how you approached it? It's that classic, tell me about a time question. But it's not about bragging.
No.
It's about showing your skills in action.
Exactly. Choose a case that really shows off your strengths, right? Like maybe it involved encrypted files or data from like a ton of different devices, maybe even damaged hardware. And RoleCatcher's Career Guide really emphasizes teamwork here. So if you were on a team, talk about your role, how you worked with everyone.
Oh, that's a good point. Maybe you had to, like, explain something super technical to a lawyer or a jury. That's a skill in itself. Speaking of which, question 7 is all about that. How do you make sure your analysis is accurate, that it's reliable, building trust, showing your findings are rock solid?
Yeah, it's about more than just being thorough, right?
Yeah.
You're adhering to industry standards. You're following that strict chain of custody for evidence. You're documenting every step.
Right, every single step.
And those certifications we talked about?
Oh, yeah.
They're huge here. It shows you're committed to those standards.
And don't be afraid to get specific, right?
Yes.
Mention those quality control measures you use. Maybe you double check with different forensic tools or have second set of eyes on your work. They want to know you're not cutting corners.
Exactly. And speaking of not cutting corners, question 8 takes us global. How do you approach a case with, international data privacy laws? Because in our world today, data can be anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
And what flies in one country might not in another. So this is where knowing those international laws comes in.
RoleCatcher specifically calls out, like, staying updated on things like GDPR. I mean, imagine a data breach that affects people in, like, 10 different countries.
Oh, wow.
You got to know their rights, how to do your investigation without breaking any laws.
Exactly. And don't be shy about your resources. Like, do you talk to legal experts who specialize in international data privacy? Have you been part of investigations that crossed borders? Showing that experience tells them you get it. You get how complex this global digital landscape is.
Right. And for our last interview question from RoleCatcher, we're switching gears a bit. From the technical to something just as important, communication. Question 9. How do you communicate your technical findings to people who aren't technical? Remember, you might be explaining things to a client, a judge, a jury who might not know the difference between, a bit and a byte.
Right. This is where you really need to make that tech talk into plain English.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
RoleCatcher really emphasizes clear, concise reports, but it's more than that.
It is.
It's about analogies, visuals, storytelling. You got to make these complex things understandable, even engaging.
You got to meet your audience where they are. Like, what if you explained a hacking technique, but you compared it to something they get, like picking a lock versus breaking down a door? You're being informative, but also accessible.
Exactly. And being able to adapt your style for different people is key. A judge needs something different than a jury. And both are different from, like, a CEO who just wants the bottom line, what happened, how do we stop it from happening again?
Okay, so we just tackled all 9 interview questions. We dug into what they really mean, came up with solid answers, even threw in some career advice along the way. But before we wrap up this interview bootcamp, let's talk about RoleCatcher itself, because they can really give you an edge, especially with these like AI-powered tools they have. It's like having a secret weapon for your resume and for prepping for your interview.
It really is. And, a lot of people think, oh, AI, it's just about making things look fancy. But RoleCatcher's AI, it goes way deeper. Huh? Yeah, so imagine this. You're applying for this digital forensics job, right? Their AI looks at that job description, picks out the skills, the experience they want, and then helps you tweak your resume so it's a perfect match.
Oh, wow.
Making sure you're highlighting all the best parts of your experience.
It's like having a recruiter like whispering in your ear.
Exactly.
Telling you exactly what they want to see.
Exactly.
And the best part is, it gives you a score. So you know how you stack up against everyone else.
Yeah, you're not guessing anymore.
No more second guessing. Like, did I use the right words? Is my formatting weird?
It takes out all the guesswork. And it doesn't stop there. Because once you've got that interview, they have this AI-powered interview practice tool. Yeah. So you can record yourself answering those common questions.
Yeah, out.
Like the ones we just talked about. Right. And it gives you feedback.
That's amazing. So it's like having a personal coach.
Yes.
Available 24/7, helping you polish those answers.
Yes. And helping you get that confidence, too. That quiet confidence.
Because interviewers can spot that,
yes,
right?
I can totally spot it.
They can totally spot it. RoleCatcher's a game changer, I gotta say. They give you the tools, the knowledge.
They really do.
To really, own every step of your job hunt.
Absolutely. I mean, they've taken expert advice and combined it with, cutting-edge tech.
Nobody else is doing that.
To give people power in a way we haven't seen before.
This has been awesome.
Yeah.
We went from figuring out job descriptions to crafting awesome answers to really understanding this field that's changing every day.
It really is. It's amazing. And remember, preparation is key. The more you understand the role, the industry, how to showcase those skills, the more confident you'll be.
And RoleCatcher is right there with you every step of the way, giving you what you need to succeed. Now, as you're heading off on your digital forensics journey, here's something to think about. We've talked a lot about the skills you need, the tech stuff, but what about the ethics of it all? As tech keeps changing, how do we make sure digital forensics is used responsibly, ethically?
That's a great point.
It's something to really consider as you move through this wild and kind of complex but super fascinating world of digital forensics.
It is.
It's been a wild ride.
It has. Until next time, remember, the digital world
is your crime scene.
Go out there and make your mark.